I've been a Main Street entrepreneur my entire life. My wife and I moved back to our hometown in 1978. She will celebrate her 41st anniversary this September with her only job, a business in our downtown, selling home accessories and gifts. Very proud of you, Maureen. 3 years later, I had my opportunity to stake out my attempt at being an entrepreneur. As Senator Scott mentioned, it's fraught with pitfalls. There's no guarantee when you stick your neck out and want to do something enterprise, no guarantee that it's going to turn out. What a thrill it is, though, when it does, and it's what drives our great country. Enterprise in this country, from its foundation, was built upon small businesses. We have over 500,000 of them in Indiana. Those businesses created over 38,000 new jobs in the last year. But things aren't as good as they could be, because as much as the tax reform did for securing the future of small business, it's not permanent. We need to make sure that that's done so sometime before 2025. Manufacturing, the biggest business in Indiana. Since the Trump economy has created the hottest context for business, small, medium, or large, 6 times more jobs in Trump's 2 years have been created in manufacturing than the last 2 years of the prior administration. And sometimes a little business can get lucky and become a medium-sized business and a large business. You know, mine followed that pathway. I'll give you a little detail on that in a moment. McDonald's started with one location. They'll add this summer in the state of Indiana 11,000 summer jobs. International companies even come to the state of Indiana because our door is open and welcome, and what a great place to have a small, medium, or large business. Saab will add a $25 million investment in West Lafayette that will create 200 great-paying jobs. Now, back to my story. Raised a family, had the chance to start my business. 17 years, it never got beyond 15 employees. That's the number of employees it started with in 1981. That's what I had in 1998. Perseverance, patience, reinvesting, keeping a low overhead so you can get through the scrapes that inevitably will come in an economy. And someday your day of opportunity will arise. In the darkest hours of the Great Recession, when our industry shrunk by over 50%, literally overnight, every asset I owned was a piece of commercial real estate, a warehouse. Everything I sold was an unnecessary, a want, not a need, auto and truck accessory. I wondered, what did the future hold? Well, the future held the greatest opportunity I could have ever imagined if you lived your life in a way that set the stage for opportunity. And I make that point, we're not doing it here in this institution. We have set ourselves up to ruin a lot of all the good things that are occurring from decades and decades ago to the present if we don't get our house in order in the institution of the federal government. It should be the pride of our country, running $850 billion deficits on $22 trillion in debt. That doesn't bode well for any of us. But the good news is, if we keep this economy going, I think it can go decades into the future where we keep creating jobs, raising wages like have never been done before. But I mentioned earlier, some of us turn into medium-sized businesses and larger businesses. And so often, what got you there, you forget about it. And I tell folks all the time, whether you're what size business, if you're successful, share those benefits with your employees. Raise benefits through your 401k plan. Lower health care costs if you can. Raise wages, certainly. Make sure people look to the real world for what means the most and not to government. You look to government, especially the federal government, you're going to be disappointed. The action in our country is on Main Street, in towns and cities across this country, and in your states. Parting comments. The biggest companies in this country, sometimes in my opinion, behave most poorly. I'm going to talk about two, big ag and big healthcare. I took on the healthcare issue 10 years ago in my own company. Nobody should go broke because they get sick or have a bad accident. All small businesses want to offer good health care to their employees but can't. Why? The industry has gotten concentrated with huge corporations, from pharma to hospitals, across the board, health insurance companies who I had to tangle with. I ask you to get with it, be transparent, be competitive, so you don't have a business partner that may only be the federal government down the road. Big agriculture. I want to end with this because in Joni's state, the high percentage of small businesses, farmers. Farmers take on the most difficult task of any business in our country. The weather, high amount of assets for the income you generate. You got regulations like waters of the U.S., great intentions, overbearing. You've got farmers that now worry about ditch maintenance because ditches that don't have water in it most of the year are now considered waters of the U.S. We've got to get a better balance to where we have good regulations, not overbearing regulations. I'm asking folks in this chamber, in this Congress, to look to get its house in order, and I'm asking big industry, big companies in the agricultural arena and the healthcare arena to get your acts in order so the doctors that participate within healthcare and the farmers that participate within agriculture can make an honest living. They're all small businesses. Small businesses drive this country. Thank you.